What is up, you beautiful people out there on the internet? It is I, Michael Shockman, here with our next episode of Arthurian D&D Explained. So welcome to the show here on the DM Shockman Institute YouTube channel. In today's episode, we are going to be covering the concepts of magic in an Arthurian world. And we will be going over, to start, what I have found most people think of in terms of magic in this type of world, and then what I do for magic. So let's get into it. Alright, so most people think, when they think Arthurian world, they think of either no magic, being more of a more gritty world where magic is almost non-existent, or on the other hand of things, magic is very much there, but it is it's just as accessible as a regular D&D world. The way that I do it, and just to kind of, before I get into that, just to kind of give you an idea of what those two things mean, is that either you have basically first level magic for the former. Either first level magic is first through third level magic is extremely common, and then fourth through what have you, fourth through sixth, let's say, is rarer, only being available to people who are like paragons of magical ability in the various different schools that they have, and then higher level magic like 7th through 8th, or 7th, 8th, and 9th, are basically non-existent. The other side of things is that magic is just first through third level spells are the pinnacle of magical ability, and the other stuff just doesn't exist. Some people who are more magically inclined can cast them at higher levels, but with more power and whatnot, infusing their own willpower and their own primordial essence, as it were, into their magic work. But anything beyond like a third level spell, like you could not resurrect somebody without the intervention of the gods, or God, or what have you, however you want to play that. Resurrecting someone, aside from using like Revivify, is like nearly impossible. You have to go and besiege the gods and go on a long quest to be able to get that done. The way that I do it is very simple. I'll give you the simple answer first, and then I'll try and expand on it and elaborate on it a little bit. So I do it a very simple way. People who play in my game, if they can cast magic, they can cast up to third level spells and can use up to 5th level spell slots. Keeping in line with that, I usually don't let anybody who's going to be a caster be anything higher than a half caster. If they're going to be a regular caster, if they're going to be any kind of caster, they can only be things like Paladin, Ranger, Eldritch Knight, Arcane Trickster. They can technically be Warlock. I just don't allow them to use... Warlock is only a class that I allow people to take if they want to dip into it. It's more of a dipping class. It's not a main class that I allow to be used, simply because of the way things work. I do technically allow for Paladin, or for Clerics to be used. But I limit the number of levels that people can take in full caster classes, and I don't ever allow anybody to take a wizard. That's the way I do it, because I want magical quote unquote ability to be rare and to be precious and to be something to be treasured. That being said, magical items in my world are more common than you might think. there are a lot of people out there who, because of in my world, most of the campaigns I've run are either around the time of the fall of the Old Imperium, that being like Rome, this world's version of Rome, or after the fall of the Old Imperium. And the Old Imperium was very heavily skilled in magic. They had the blessing of the gods, and as such, they were able to create many wondrous items and ship them all over the known world. And thus, the prevalence and availability of magical items, like weapons and armor and trinkets and what have you, is mainly in large part due to that empire having, the remnants of that empire having been so widespread. In addition to that, in terms of like potions and stuff like that, potion craft is one of the few caveats to magical healing and magical ability that I allow pretty intensely in my world, as I believe that somebody who has a basic understanding of how to use an herbalism kit understands how to properly brew and extract the magical energies from herbs to be able to make potions. In addition, to kind of double down on that concept, I also have created and implemented a new type of potion, which is known as a mana potion. There are only three levels of mana potion. There's first level, there's minor, standard, and greater. Minor gives you a 1d2, or 1d2 plus 1, a 1d2 plus 1 number of first level spell slots back. You basically drink the entire thing. That's the minor one. A greater one gives, you choose whether you're going to whether you're going to try and use it to regain first or second level spell slots. And then if you go for first level, then it's a 1d3 plus 1, a 1d4, not 1d3 plus 1, a 1d4 of spell slots that you get for first level. And if you go for second level spell slots, then you just get 2 back. The third and final one is a greater mana potion, and it doesn't do first level. It does a 1d6 plus 1 of first level spell slots. It does a 1d4 plus 1 of second level spell slots, or it does just 2 third level spell slots, and that's it. There's a lot of variance in there, but you basically get a little. It's kind of a way, considering that I like to run my games at pretty low levels, being able to have mana potions readily available so that my players can go a little bit harder and a little bit faster and not have to worry about constantly resting to be able to get their spell slots back is kind of a thing that I like to implement occasionally. So I will say, if you do want to ever implement anything like this in your game, use it sparingly. Don't make it a ready thing where they can just pop potions and regain all their spell slots. That's dumb, and it defeats the purpose of the game. Part of the game anyway. Instead, make it kind of a reward that they can have 1 or 2 of these things on hand in case they need to bolster themselves, and maybe implement something like once they've used up the magic that was in the thing, they gain, I don't know, a level of exhaustion or something like that it only comes back after like a long rest. Or maybe implement a limiting factor of they can only drink 1 healing or 1 mana potion per long rest, or per short rest. It's up to you. And that's one of the things I do want to point out, is that these are all guidelines that I'm giving you for this. Ultimately, if you want to run in an Arthurian world, do it however you want to do it. Just know that it's not going to be for everyone, and it has like any game, there are certain people that enjoy it, there are certain people that don't, and it's really all just a matter of perspective and interpretation. Anyway, folks, that's going to about do it for today's episode on magic and magic items therein. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Also, be sure to ring the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Last but not least, please be sure to check out the links down in the description. You know what they do, you know where they go, you know what to do. I'm Michael Schockman, I've been your host and commentator, and until next time, guys, remember as always, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy, and we will see you guys again soon in the next one. Peace off, everybody.